intervention.
Thank you very much, Ahmed Banu, CFA. Please, a round of applause for him. Thank you very much for that wonderful presentation. I hope we were jotting down. I mean, he said a lot of things within that 20, 25 minutes he spoke, quite a lot. But what struck me generally is as risk experts, we need to be there before the food is cooked. You know, that's one good slang. You know, be there before the food is cooked. Generally, what he's talking about is let's be proactive. And then another thing he said, which I really liked, he said, don't eliminate yourself. So, I mean, no matter what a robot can do, it still cannot think like a human being. It doesn't have a medulla oblongata. Is that not what they taught us in school? That doesn't have a brain like a human brain. So, what it still means is that no matter our dependence on artificial intelligence, we can't take away the human side of it. And when he said, don't eliminate yourself, that is a fantastic statement. And it also talked about no sitting on the fence. We need to be proactive. Because the truth must be told, AI has come and it's not going anywhere. It's just going to continue to improve. And when he gave an example of movies, I started flashing back to a lot of, you know, I'm a movie person too, and I see a lot of movies I've seen in the past, and, you know, when we see it, we always say, oh, this is film trick. This one is film trick. But today we are seeing the so-called trick now in real life. So it means that some of these things are a reflection of the future. And the final one you also talked about is who is regulating AI? And so there was a time I went to ChatGPT and I just typed how to make a nuclear weapon. And he said, oh, sorry, we cannot tell you this one. So I was impressed that at least it's not just free for all. Like, you know, AI can just teach you anything. So I like the fact from ethical sides. Sorry, let me check the mic. I like the fact that there are some ethical considerations in this AI application. But, you know, the fear at the end of the day is that how can AI produce a destructive world? That is generally the fear. And then you heard what our speaker said. Elon Musk said by 2050, the world will be taken over by AI. I don't have an issue if AI is making us more efficient, but my problem is AI should not produce a destructive element. So, you know, when I went to try it that day, that AI, please teach me how to make a bomb. I just wanted to test it. It's not like even if it gives me, I know what to do. But I just like the fact that he just responded and said, sorry, this artificial intelligence is not produced to give you an answer like this. And that clearly shows that, you know, there are some ethical considerations. So thank you very much again, our speaker, Mr. Ahmed Olaitombanu, CFA. We really appreciate. But we'll have to move on. Our speakers are given 20 minutes each. If you can, you know, hit the nail on the head and finish it within 20 minutes. I mean, less than 20 minutes, we'll appreciate. So we move on according to our program. We move on to the second keynote speaker, Dr. Ezekiel Oseni, who is of the Chartered Risk Management Institute, CRMI of Nigeria. However, he is unavoidably absent. But he's ably represented by Temitayo Oshogbola, who is the CEO of Risk Advisory Limited. So please, with a round of applause, please, can you come forward as you deliver your keynote address? Please, can we increase that applause? Thank you very much. You're welcome.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. It's my pleasure to be here today. I bring you greetings from Professor Ezekiel Oseni. He's not able to make it here today, but I'm here to deliver the speech and the presentation today on his behalf. They've already been introduced. I'm Temitayo Oshogbola, and I currently I'm the lead consultant and the managing director at Risk Advisory Limited. So, thank you to the Morgans for this program. And looking at the topic of corporate sustainability, we cannot overemphasize the need for corporate sustainability. So this morning I'll be focusing primarily on corporate sustainability due diligence, a new era of accountability. And thank you, Ahmed. I didn't realize it was you. I haven't seen you in a while. Thank you for the good job done with respect to focusing on AI and how we should position ourselves. You know, we really cannot run away from it. So I have 20 minutes, and I'll move on quickly into my presentation. So I'll try to run through the table of contents that the media has already put up. And while talking about corporate sustainability, or the topic of sustainability generally, there are different schools of thoughts. I've had people say to me, and I'm sure that if I took a poll in this room, I'm going to get different responses as well. I've had some people say to me that these old conversations around corporate sustainability and sustainable development is some people's idea to slow down development in Africa. I've had some say to me that it's all a facade, you know, but whatever school of thought you're in, right, one thing that I know for sure is that how many of us travel out of Lagos every once in a while? Maybe if you still have a village, like some of us go to, as basic as it seems, the air there is cleaner, definitely. There's a general sense of better well-being, right? And the reason I like the picture on the next slide, if we move to the next slide, please, is for those who may know a thing or two about agriculture, when you farm a land during a certain farming cycle, if you don't wait for the land to regenerate, it's not going to give you the same yield. And essentially, the whole topic around sustainability talks about how do we use the resources that nature has given us by ensuring that we preserve the same resources that we use for the future generation. And I'm no scientist, but the scientists tell us, and if you look at the statistics, it seems rather scary. They tell us that natural resources that have been extracted have tripled since 1970. We're also made to know that more than a third of Earth's natural resources have been destroyed by humans in the past 30 to 35 years thereabouts. And that if we continued at this pace, at the pace at which we extract natural resources, at the pace at which waste is being deposited on Earth, we would need 2 Earth by year 2030 to provide our resources and to accommodate our waste. We only have 1 Earth. You know, and moving on to the next slide. So on one hand is the conversation around how we use natural resources, and on the other hand is the conversation on climate change, which is what I've tried to project on the next slide, right? And because of our time, I will just move on while the media tries to put it up. There's a lot of conversation, thank you, around climate change, and since the Industrial Revolution era, it goes without saying that this is a valid topic, right? And I mean, many of us in this room would know about the Paris Agreement of 2015, where many countries came together and said, you know what, it's important to keep global average temperature at lower than 2 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels. And to do that, temperature increase is expected to be kept at no higher than 1.5 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels. A lot has happened since COVID, and many countries have realized that the journey to 2050 has either been stagnated or some parts of the results have even been set back. I was looking at the SDGs, the poverty indicator. Since COVID, statistics have it that we've been set back about 4 years of what had already been achieved before COVID. So what am I here to emphasize essentially? That to the Morgans, thank you. This is a valid topic. I think that regardless of the different conspiracy theories that may exist, right, from my basic observation, the conversation around climate change, sustainable development is something that is too important. And we all have different parts to play as individuals and as corporates. I have a couple of slides after this that just emphasize, and maybe we can go to it after this event, the Climate Time event, just further buttresses some of these facts that we've spoken about. And we're not able to show the link here, but if we just stay on this for a bit, if you go to the Climate Time Machine, it's a website where you can see the different impacts of climate change on these 6 indicators that were on the prior slide: sea ice, sea level, carbon dioxide, global temperature, ice sheets, and ocean warming. And I just kind of focused on global temperature from 1884 to 2022. The light blue areas show areas that had temperature lower than average temperature. And that was around 18-something. At the time this picture ended in 2022, and you can go to the Climate Time Machine to check, it was a lot more